In the northwest of Saudi Arabia, near the Red Sea, one of the most expensive bets in modern history is rising from the desert. Neom. It is not just a city. It is Saudi Arabia's attempt to answer one question. Can a kingdom built on oil use that wealth to create a new economy before the oil age begins to fade? For decades, Saudi Arabia's power came from what was hidden beneath the ground. Oil transformed a sparsely populated desert kingdom into one of the richest nations on earth. It paid for roads, airports, hospitals, universities, and some of the most ambitious state investments in the world. But oil also created a dangerous dependency. When the price of oil rises, the kingdom becomes richer. When it falls, budgets tighten. And in a world slowly moving toward electric vehicles, renewable energy, and lower carbon economies, Saudi Arabia faces a future where the thing that made it powerful may no longer be enough. Neom is Saudi Arabia's attempt to change that story. It wants to become more than an oil exporter. It wants to become a destination for tourism, technology, finance, logistics, entertainment, clean energy, and global business. The most famous part of Neom is the Line, a proposed linear city stretching through the desert. Instead of expanding outward like normal cities, the Line was imagined as a narrow urban corridor, with homes, offices, parks, transport, and services stacked inside a controlled environment. The promise was radical. No traditional roads, no endless suburbs, and daily needs within walking distance. But the Line is only one part of the bigger plan. Neom also includes Oxagon, an industrial and logistics hub near the Red Sea. It includes Trojena, a mountain destination designed for tourism and winter sports. It includes Sindala, a luxury island destination aimed at wealthy visitors, yachts, resorts, and international travel. Together, these places are meant to create a new economic engine in a part of the country that was once mostly empty desert and coastline. Saudi Arabia has the money, the land, the geography, and the political will to attempt something few countries could. It also has a deadline. Vision 2030. Vision 2030 is the national transformation plan designed to reduce Saudi Arabia's dependence on oil. The goal is to build new industries, attract foreign investment, increase tourism, create jobs, and turn Saudi Arabia into a more diversified economy. Neom is one of the most visible symbols of that plan. A normal investor might ask, why build in the desert? Why spend so much money in such a harsh environment? Why not develop existing cities like Riyadh, Jeddah, or Dammam? The answer is that Neom is supposed to do something existing cities cannot easily do. It is supposed to start from scratch. No old traffic system, no outdated industrial zones, no legacy infrastructure, no need to slowly upgrade what already exists. The dream is to design everything around new technology from the beginning. Renewable power, automated transport, artificial intelligence, advanced water systems, and futuristic construction. But building in remote terrain is expensive. Workers, materials, roads, ports, power lines, water systems, and housing all have to be brought in or created. Extreme heat makes construction harder, fresh water is limited, supply chains are complex, and the more futuristic the design becomes, the more difficult it is to turn renderings into real concrete, steel, glass, and operating businesses. Supporters see Neom as a necessary transformation. They argue that Saudi Arabia has to think big because its challenge is big. A country built on oil cannot diversify with small projects alone. It needs new sectors that can attract global attention and capital. Tourism, logistics, clean energy, entertainment, and technology all require infrastructure. Neom is an attempt to create that infrastructure at a scale the world has never seen. Critics see something else. They see a project that may be too expensive, too complex, and too dependent on constant government support. They question whether millions of people will actually want to live in a futuristic desert city. They wonder whether foreign investors will commit enough money, and they ask whether the economic returns can ever justify the cost. Because this is not just a city being built in the desert. It is a test of whether money can manufacture a future. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund plays a central role in this strategy. It is not simply investing abroad like a traditional wealth fund. It is also investing inside Saudi Arabia to create entire industries. That means the fund is being used as a tool of national transformation. The idea is that government money builds the first layer, Roads, airports, ports, resorts, power systems, and landmark projects come first. Then private investors, companies, tourists, residents, and entrepreneurs follow. If it works, the state investment becomes the foundation for a new economy. But if it does not work, the result could be one of the most expensive real estate experiments ever attempted. The $500 billion figure is a signal. Saudi Arabia wants the world to see NEOM not as a regional real estate project, but as a national priority. However, large numbers also create large expectations. When a country announces a project of this scale, every delay becomes news. Every design change becomes a warning sign. Every leadership change becomes a question. Every budget adjustment becomes part of the story. Over time, some expectations have been adjusted. Parts of the project have been delayed, scaled, redesigned, or reprioritized. That does not mean the entire vision has disappeared, but it does show that even Saudi Arabia's wealth has limits. The desert may be vast, but capital is not infinite. Labor is not infinite. Time is not infinite. Should it build the most futuristic city ever imagined? Or should it focus first on the parts that can generate revenue? Should it prioritize tourism destinations, industrial zones, sports events, luxury islands, or residential districts? Should it keep the dream as big as possible, or prove the concept step by step? NEOM is not only a construction story, it is a capital allocation story. Saudi Arabia is trying to convert oil wealth into long-term assets. Hotels, ports, cities, renewable energy, technology zones, tourist destinations, global brands, human capital, and international attention. The bet is that these assets will eventually create income that does not depend only on crude oil. Imagine if a luxury island attracts high-net-worth tourists. Imagine if a Red Sea logistics hub becomes part of global trade. Imagine if renewable energy supports new industries. Imagine if international companies open offices and research centers. Imagine if millions of visitors begin to see Saudi Arabia not just as a religious or oil destination, but as a place for business, entertainment, and travel. The downside is that building supply does not automatically create demand. The city is not successful because it is expensive. It is successful because people want to live there, work there, visit it, invest in it, and return to it. A port needs trade. A resort needs guests. A technology hub needs talent. A financial center needs trust. A new city needs culture, convenience, and economic purpose. This is why NEOM may be one of the most important economic experiments of the 21st century. It sits at the intersection of money, power, climate, technology, and national identity. It asks whether a country can redesign its future fast enough to outrun the decline of its old model. For Saudi Arabia, the desert is no longer empty land. It is the place where its post-oil future is being tested. If NEOM succeeds, it could become proof that oil wealth can be transformed into a diversified, modern economy. It could help Saudi Arabia attract tourists, investors, companies, and workers on a scale it has never seen before. It could turn a remote region into a symbol of post-oil ambition. But if it fails, it will become a warning about the limits of mega projects, a reminder that even hundreds of billions of dollars cannot guarantee demand, a lesson that futuristic renderings are easy to create, but real cities are hard to build. Saudi Arabia is not simply building in the desert because it has too much money. It is building in the desert because the country knows the future cannot look exactly like the past. The oil beneath the ground created the Saudi Arabia we know today. Now the kingdom is trying to create the next one above the ground, and somewhere between the Red Sea, the mountains, and the endless sand, a $500 billion question is taking shape. Can a country build its way into the future before the future arrives without it?